Hey guys, if you like to party and the stock block is what you're trying to go fast on, we have a new brand for you here, Stock Block the World. Go to the link in the video and support us. It should eventually lead to t-shirts, hoodies, and other apparel. Alright guys, I forgot to update the other night, Saturday, when I finished up, but you can see I got the cell in place. John, I just had the front end on, test fitting it. You know, now I may move this threaded bosses up just a little bit or down some so I can raise the cell up a little bit. I haven't decided, but it's you know, it's hard to tell how low it is. It's not terrible, but you know, you don't want to come down from a wheel and potentially smash that, and so it's easier to address now than later. But that part aside, I'm going to work on the coolant overflow. I made a mark there. That's where the headlight is above, which is still about 5 inches above that. So realistically, I could probably come up 2 inches, no problem, and make a piece that overhangs here for the coolant reservoir and in this area right here. I had the camera off focus. But so I'm gonna start on that tonight, and once I get that part done, I should be ready to move on to the honestly pulling the engine back out so I can put these 625 head studs in. What's up? So I recorded this last night, and I thought about it afterwards, and I was so sleepy there's no way it made a lot of sense, so I'm gonna do it again. But you know, I was working on the coolant reservoir. You can see right now it's currently got zip tie brackets. My plan is to build a bracket that will go from here to here. There's 2 holes there. One side will be a radiator cap, so it can still have pressure relief, which, you know, because I'm realistic and this thing's gonna build some coolant pressure, because it's not like I'm trying to go slow and I'm trying to go fast with cheap crap, relatively cheap. And then right here will be a lid. After a run, be able to just drain some water out, put some ice in it, circulate it with the pump, which will be mounted, you know, somewhere in this vicinity, and will be, you know, help cool the car down a bit quicker, which, you know, pushing it to and from the lanes is also going to help a lot with that as well. I'm kind of reusing some things. We took the fittings off of this because they thread in, and I cut the threads off because I didn't have any 16 bungs here, unfortunately. I went up the road to get some, and the place that's usually open late on Tuesdays was not open, so that was a pleasant surprise. But I did go by there today, and I got this lid right here. I prefer black, but it was out of stock. For the radiator cap, I'm actually just going to clean this up and repurpose it, because I have it and it doesn't look terrible, and yeah, you know, saves 30 bucks. And when you're trying to get something done, every dollar counts. So that's that. Buddy Jake came by, and you can see there's some tub work going on. Still a good bit to go on that, but we are progressing. I might try to stay a little bit late tonight. I'm definitely tired and old, and I can feel it in my face. But you know, got a deadline, not a deadline, but I got a goal, I should say, and it's not going to finish itself. Little update: some progress has been made. As you can tell, got the lids welded on for the coolant reservoir. Got this bracket added right here to help hold the water coolant reservoir. I made it a small bracket, or a 2-piece bracket opposed to a 1-piece, because I didn't want a long piece hanging out and making it hard to get the engine out when necessary. But now what I'm going to work on is a fuel overflow can, and then there'll be also tied into that same can will be the coolant overflow as well. So that's what's next. Busy but productive day, guys. As you can see, I got the coolant and fuel overflow tank built. Kind of hard to tell, but it's got 2 baffles in it that are opposed to one another and opposed to the entrance right here. So, you know, mostly if coolant pressure is to push out, it's got some stuff to stop it before it comes through right here. And yeah, it's kind of loose right now. But anyways, so I got that. Probably put a sock over that. Got the pump mounted this morning. This right here will be the fuel feed line, 1.25" stainless tubing, and it'll run from the back of the cell here. You see that area down there where the feed is currently tacked on there over to the pump, which I got to put a hole in the motor plate. Back here, Sammy came over today and he killed it. This tub is in there pretty decent, and we kind of redoing that one. That one was more of a learning curve, so we were able to take what we learned on that one and apply it to this one. And back, our buddy Jake helped with that one, and he'll be back here Monday to help some more, so we can get some of this metal work done. All in all, super stoked for the amount of work we got done today. You know, didn't expect to get that much done, but it's definitely coming together. Got to order some fittings. Still got to pull the engine out and do the 625 head studs, but you know that'll happen soon. But that's it for Saturday. What's up, guys? It's Labor Day. I didn't update you this morning when I came in because obviously nothing changed from Saturday night. But today we've been grinding some more. As you can see, I made good progress on getting the engine ready to remove. Had to multitask a bit. Some stuff's coming along though. Sammy, as you can tell, has been working on the panel for the inside there. Got a pan under the trans as well, which will help the aero. And been working on some sheet metal work for the back here. So made some good progress on that stuff. It's crazy how long this stuff takes. If people ever wonder why it costs so much to pay somebody to build a car, it's because everything takes a crazy amount of time when you're doing it to a specific application. Got the water tank and the fuel cell all done, all but the tag. I'll get that tomorrow, hopefully. Also been multitasking as well and helping Sammy put the old air to water from our car on his. So you know, been jumping around a bit, but for a Saturday and Monday we made a lot of progress between two cars. Sammy's is good to go and test the air to water setup. We'll try to get on the dyno before Thursday, and this thing will hopefully get some more work tomorrow night, unless old age stinks up on me here soon. What is up, guys? It's another Saturday, another busy week in the books. But you know, Saturdays are for race car, so I did not get to work on a Tuesday night as I planned. You know, Monday was Labor Day, got a lot done. Had some stuff come up, but finally back at it today. So today, for sure, finally, I'm getting this engine out of this thing. Just going to do a leak down check, make sure everything seems healthy. Pull the heads off. I bought some 625 head studs for it, which I believe I mentioned already, but I wanted to do those when we did the engine last year at this time, but they were on back order, and went ahead and put the 2000 head studs in instead. But this time I have the 625s already, and I'm going to put some new BTR LS9 head gaskets, and then switch the front cover out to a 58X setup. Our timing gear is already 58X. We've just been running this thing on waste spark, but I want to run it 58X so we can actually you know, do this thing sequential. But that is today's plans. I will. I'm hoping I can get it all knocked out today. I think I can, because it's only 7:30 now. So let me get to it. Alright, as you saw, I got the engine out. Need to shake these down just a little bit on the engine plate here. It makes it a little tight, so you can kind of see where it's rubbing at, so we'll touch that up just so it's easier to remove in the future. You see where Sammy got the lower belly pan started on the trans side. It's kind of roughly in there just to hold it for now. Obviously some tweaking to do. You know what's cool about the mid plate is, since we have the trans mount back there on the floor bars, the mid plate itself and those elongated dowels from ICT billet hold the trans in place. So that one's a little further out, I'll probably tap it in. But now I'll get this thing leaked down and then get the heads off. Saved you guys some minutes, and I went ahead and started taking accessories off and did the leak down check. It's not too bad. I got the exhaust valve. I was leaking a bit on cylinder number, God, brain fart, it's been too long, number 4. So I'm going to pop that exhaust valve out, make sure it's not warped, and possibly reseat it. I know I reseated them last time, and it may not have been enough, or it could have been warped and I just didn't catch it. But check that. The cylinder's pretty good. Cylinder number 3 here and 8, the leak down's a little higher than I expect. Obviously I know why number 4 is, but that's probably just it could just be because it's set for so long and the rings need to need some heat in them. I'm not really worried about it because honestly that's nothing abnormal as far as leak down with how we build them pretty loose. Another weird thing I found is for some reason there was a push rod that was 25 thousandths shorter on the exhaust of cylinder number 7 here, or 5. So, which had to be a packaging error because we've never ran staggered or offset push rods in any way. So I think they must have packaged it wrong, and we just threw them all in there, just get them together real quick. But I'll get a loosely ordered. But overall, happy with what I found. I'm gonna pop these heads off now. Update. All right, got the heads off. What I noticed was I saw a little bit of rust in the cylinder on number 4 here, which is the same cylinder that had the leak down at the exhaust valve. I haven't pulled the valve out yet, but what I did, I could see the head gasket had pushed a little bit right there, which I thought was odd because we don't really have that problem. You can tell there's a bunch of rust on the rings, but they still have tension and everything. So I'm going to clean these off and I'll put them back in. And also based off the leak down, it wasn't that bad. So what I think had happened was, our fuel system, we had plenty of pump and plenty of injector. We noticed our duty cycle was pretty high, higher than it should be, and we couldn't really pinpoint the source of it. Well, later on, we had an Aeromotive inline filter rated for 3,000 horsepower, or let's think it's where it gets you, or 2,000 pounds an hour of fuel. Being on methanol and the power we were making is we were far exceeding that. So what I could really only imagine is that cylinder just got a little too hot because timing was soft, and Alan has the same engine in his C10 with a more aggressive timing map, and it doesn't have issues. Time, and don't get me wrong, I had planned to lean on it, I just didn't get that far before the wreck, unfortunately. I think what happened was it pushed a little bit of water there, and it's just sat in that cylinder for, we're talking about 11 months now, something like that. But I popped that piston out just to make sure that there was not a pinch string land or something like that. It's a good chance to see these awesome rods again. It's been a while since I've seen them, but man, these things are beefy. You can just see all the rust on there. But so what I'm gonna do is hit the rings off, clean them, clean the piston off, hit that bore with a hone real quick, and then I will throw this thing back together and proceed to putting the oil pump and the heads on. But a little extra work that I didn't anticipate. But it's one of those things. It's like you think, leak down wasn't that bad, so I'll spray some WD-40 in there, blow it out, should be fine. But if you put the whole car back together and you gotta address it later in the car, it's more of a pain to work on it then. And I've been in the past when it comes to the race car, we've done that. We've put off doing some things because we don't want to do that much extra work, and in return, you gotta do more work later. I want to give you guys an update. I got the driver's side head on, and the passenger side head's about to go on. I did reseat that valve. I think all it was is a little rust around the exhaust valve seat. So did that. Holding that cylinder out looks pretty good. There's a little spot in the wall can't do much about it, and I think it'll be fine. So I'm not too concerned. As you can tell here, got the 625 studs in it, so they're pretty. Sammy's been in here getting his work on with the metal work some more. The belly pan is laying on my welding table. You can kind of see stuff just kind of laid in there. The stuff is rusty because when you lay on the car and sweat, apparently this stuff rusts crazy fast, and that's dumb. But we are making progress. I'm trying hard to get this engine back in the next couple hours before I leave today. Got this engine ready to go back in. I'll let the balancer off for now because sometimes it's kind of a pain to get on, and I'm a little pressed for time, so I'll just have to reinstall it after I get it in the car. Got our oil drain. Remember that we run a scavenge pump, so location doesn't really matter. So it doesn't have to be down low like you see on most turbo setups. So that'll go there. Got the flywheel on, and torque converter is in the transmission as well. I got to order that one push rod since that one was too short for whatever reason, so I'm not sure how that happened. I had to throw one in the pack wrong, but you know, it's no big deal. And I also shaved down the sides of the engine plate a little bit so I can help it slide in there a little bit easier, hopefully. You know, and then as far as the exhaust leakage on the valve, you know, I put some valve grinding compound on that, and I reseated it and took care of that. So that seems good. Really, I guess now I'll just get this thing bolted in. She is in there. It took only a few minutes since the transmission bolts are easily accessible, and it was a smooth situation too, since I took that motor plate like I had mentioned and just kind of cut some off the edges. I got to get to there Tuesday night. Either myself, John, somebody, we're going to, you know, Sammy's been helping a lot too, thankfully, and my buddy Jake. Somebody will be probably working on some of the getting the manifold headers and all that stuff on there. I got a bunch of welding to do. Jake can TIG weld also, so maybe I'll throw that on him, but it's kind of a tight area. He's a little bit bigger than me, so it might be a pain. So we'll see, but glad to be making progress. Just, you know, can't get comfortable yet, so got a good ways to go. About 2 minutes, and I realized I left this out, so I'm gonna pull it back out. I think it might take 10 to 15 minutes. I'm about to find out. Update, it took 8 minutes and 50 seconds. So, but just I got ahead of myself, and it cost me 10 minutes. Now I can finally clean up and go home. Morning, guys. It is Saturday, September 19th. I recorded a video the other night, and it's about 12:30, and I'd been here since 6 a.m. It's a normal work day, then stayed after and worked on this. Even while I was doing it, I was very tired, so I was like, I need to re-record this because I kept forgetting what I was talking about. But made a ton of progress. As you can tell, we've got everything painted like we want. That's just black spray paint. John has a really good hand for that stuff. Obviously, some of it's got to come back off though, because we got to paint the cage area down there, the front end. But you can tell we got all the lines ran, vacuum hoses ran, and all that good stuff. The fuel line, you know, like I pointed in the last video, is 1.25 inch stainless pipe here, and the coupler came in for that today, so that'll fit a little bit better. Got the crankcase lines ran to the firewall, and then they will come out, you know, on the inside here, on both sides, and go back to our catch can. We've made a ton of progress on the metal work. You can tell we've got the scallops in place for a lot of stuff. You know, we're going to weld a piece in here that'll bolt to the motor plate, and then that part will be removable so the transmission is accessible when necessary. We got more scallops in here. Tubs are in, you know, they're not permanently in, but they're in there. They got to come back out so we can start clearing this into frame. But there's been a lot of progress made, ton of welding, and you see the floors in down here, over there. Still some patch panels we made, but she's coming along. We've made a ton of progress. I know I said that several times, but pretty excited about it. You can tell we're using a lot of sheet metal from the old setup that John did last year because it still works really well, and of course saves time, which is awesome. You know, we ended up redoing that tub right there because we, you know, learned some stuff on this one, so we just transferred it over to this one. We still need to even up the shock mounts because they're a little uneven from we're in a hurry before, and I guess it's got overlooked, so we're going to do that. A buddy of mine made some brackets for shot canisters, so we're actually going to mount that on the cage. And about ready for paint and wiring. We got a lot of rust to sand off. Another cool thing I got, let me find it here. I put it here? I lost it apparently. I'll put it up in the box. Anyways, you know, we've ran an ARC switch panel for years, never had any issues. Wanted to mix it up though, so I got the Fuel Tech switch panel and switch 8. We don't need 8 switches, but it's the same price as basically for a 5, and all the 4s were still almost the same price, but also they were out, and then the 8 minis. What's cool about that is we can control everything through the CAN system, so we can wire it up and we can have it function as normal through the Fuel Tech, and also like typically, you know, in a water pump, for example, you set them to run based off of engine RPM, or the fans, you know, engine RPM and a certain temperature. So what we'll do is, you know, set it to do something similar, but then we can turn it on as well to bypass that, so we can sit there and circulate water when we're in the pits. But really happy how things are turning out. Still a good bit of work to go. Been a lot of late nights this week. You know, fortunately we have the customers to keep us busy during the day, but you know, these late nights are adding up. But I think it'll be all worth it here soon. Alright guys, while I've been working on the car, John has been working on the rear end. It's that, you know, that Marriott Racing rear end. It's beautiful, very nice piece. Putting the same 14 gear back in that we ran last time, but just a new one, just to play it safe. This morning, John worked on getting the EGTs shortened to length to feel a little bit better. You don't have a lot of excess, and a few other things as well. So it's a little bit more done, so everything's one step closer. Alright guys, it's been a minute since I've actually updated anything, but I'll show you some of the progress. As you can see, everything's painted up front, almost minus the bars. Laptop is updating the Fuel Tech. I'm not going to show you the wiring right now because it's horrible. The trunk is set up. Rear end is in there. New shock mounts, all that stuff. Yeah, right now we're just trying to make a race here in a few days. So it has been a rush job to say the least. You can see the roof is currently, the Bondo's drying. It was glued on earlier. So that's happening. But here shortly, I'm going to try to prime everything, fire it up, and hopefully it sounds good.
Did you put the fuel on there?
Yes, yeah. I roll it over.
Man,
I see the straws. Not be enough. There's an ease. Okay, it's too loud.
washing my pan out of that into it.
Hit it. Hit it. Trying to make pressure. We gotta watch all lines and shit, that's all. Okay. It's just making pressure though, it's a couple pounds. Okay. It's like a little carburetor. Here you go. Hit it.
I bet it made pressure because the line right here, so it drawed up.
Okay. We see a look at it, John?
I seen a little spray out of that somewhere over here, and this has just a little drip.
In case somebody's gonna smoke this up.
Sound good, didn't she?
It does sound good.
Damn, she sound good. Has a nice tone to it.
Can't look at my face and burn. Morning, guys. Last night's video was kind of rushed, and it's been a grind to get this thing ready. We've been putting in a lot of extra hours. Sammy's been helping, and it's been rough, but we were trying to make a race, which is Sunday, and today's Tuesday. So yeah, it's been rough. That's all I can say. I'm tired still, and I'm gonna be tired this evening. But like you can tell, last night we got the car running. Still got a lot of wiring to clean up inside the car, some things to finish up in there. The turbo's not spinning well. I'm hoping that I just left a rag in the exhaust. That would certainly be great. But nonetheless, I am glad to hear it run. It's been, close to a year since we heard it run last. But tonight we got to finish the rear brake lines, try to get the other sensors wired in, and I doubt I'll get it on the dyno tonight. I just don't have that much time. But nonetheless, I'm happy it's going. Right now you can kind of see, inside's looking good, blacked out. The roof was glued on last night, like I showed you, and get the corners kind of bonded in. They'll smooth it all out. It won't be painted this Sunday. It'll just be touched up where body work is necessary. But so it doesn't look very grudge, as I guess is the best way to put it. But as long as it goes fast, I don't really care. It's been almost a year, and it's gonna feel good to get another hit. Since it's been, I don't think I haven't actually driven anything fast, since the wreck. Just customer cars on the street, just checking drivability and stuff. So it's going to be it's been a minute. But anyways, that's where we're at. Got another long day of actual shop work ahead of us, and then we'll be able to get to this thing again tonight. Alright guys, you know how I mentioned the turbo wasn't spinning? Well, it looks like there was a rag. It must have been the exhaust or in the housing at some point. Don't really care. Just glad that's all it was. So that's way cheaper than another turbo, even used. Turbo spins great without it. But I am glad I pulled the pipe off, actually, because there's fuel there, which tells me it looks like the auxiliary injector is leaking, which that's the only injector we didn't soak because just didn't think about it. But so we'll get that thing out and test it, and then go over all the other little things that need to be checked.